Alright, time to pack for my cruise. And I think I have everything. So when I'm getting ready to pack for a cruise, there's certain things I try hard not to forget. These things won't necessarily make or break the trip, but they will make the cruise a lot more easier and enjoyable. Just like certain things that I used to bring all the time, but no longer can because now they're banned. So in this video, I'm going to talk about a few items that I try not to forget that not only helps my cruise, but makes things a lot easier on me and my pockets. And no, I don't mean my clothes. I always pack those. So without further ado, the first thing I want to talk about is my suitcases, because depending on the length of my cruise will determine which suitcase I use. So for me personally, if I'm cruising for 5 days or less, I'm usually going to take my smallest suitcase, my carry-on. And if I'm cruising between 5 to 7 days, then most likely I'll take my medium-sized suitcase. It also depends on what kind of weather we're going to have during the cruise. And if I'm going to sail 8 days or more, then I'm taking my largest suitcase. So while we're on the topic of suitcases, I'd like to mention a suitcase scale. This does come in handy if you're flying to the port. But if you're bypassing the airport and you're either driving to the cruise terminal or you're already at the cruise terminal, then you probably won't need this. And just as a quick mention, there are multiple different brands, but they pretty much all do the same thing and come in handy. So the next item I want to talk about is the TSA lock. Basically, if you want to have that added protection on your suitcases, and also want to know that the TSA aren't going to tear them up just to open them if they think there is a reason to get inside, this comes in handy. I've bought a double pack, and I use it usually for the same suitcase. So basically, I put one on one set of zippers and then another one on a second set of zippers for like 2 different pockets. But this thing has come in handy so far. Thankfully, the TSA haven't had a need or reason to go in my suitcases, but if they did, they would not have to tear it up because this is on here. So this might sound silly, but the next thing I want to talk about is water shoes. Now, I know this is in a Ziploc bag. I've used these several times, washed them, and no matter how many times I put them through the washing machine and such, I can't seem to ever get all the sand out. There's still little bits of grains here and there. But I don't like to go on any beach or any excursion without these, unless the excursion requires sneakers or something stronger. So one thing I did start bringing that's kind of new even for me is this cruise survival kit bag, which was graciously and generously given to me by my boss at my job. She knows how much I love cruising, so she gave this to me, but she gave this to me full. It wasn't empty. I'm just going to show you some of the things that were inside it individually. The next thing I want to talk about is this first aid kit. It might be hard to see in the camera, but this is Johnson & Johnson's first aid kit. So basically, you could get this in the travel section in certain places like Walmart or Target, and it doesn't hold a whole lot, but there's, basically alcohol pads. It holds a number of bandages, and you might even be able to squeeze like some travel Neosporin in here as well. I might have used a Band-Aid or 2 in here, but this is something that comes in handy. And although you could probably get Band-Aids at the front desk at guest services, sometimes it's better to come prepared on your own, just in case. Now, the next thing that's somewhat new, but not entirely, is this Downy wrinkle release. Now, I've been using this for the last couple of years, but I didn't always know about this, especially the travel size. I knew about the bigger bottles, but the travel size can come in handy, especially if you gotta go through the airport. But even if you don't have to go through the airport, you're on a cruise, you're not, necessarily gonna be there for a whole month or 2, unless maybe you are, then you might want to get the big bottle. But for a 7-day cruise, 8-day cruise, 5-day cruise, this will definitely come in handy. And since we can't have iron and ironing boards on board, at least at our disposal, this is something that helps actually get the wrinkles out. Not necessarily as good as ironing, but close enough. And here's another item that came in my little cruise survival kit. I know it might just look like a little ball on a key ring thing, but actually it's a raincoat. Now, it's a raincoat and a ball. I know this looks really small and like it's not gonna fit a little toy, nevertheless a grown person, but it's just kind of vacuum sealed. But this actually does come in handy. Now, I will say, once you take it out and actually use it, you're probably not going to be able to squeeze it back into this ball. But in the meantime, this does come in handy if you're on something like a rainy trip, or say you're on an Alaskan cruise and you deal with some rain during the spring or fall times, or even summertime. Another item that came in my little survival kit was this men's grooming kit. Now, this has, I believe, 9 pieces in it, and basically it comes with 2 nail clippers, scissors, and a few other picks and things that actually could come in handy, to help keep yourself well groomed while you're on board. But I usually have another nail clipper that I keep on my keychain, but this is definitely something that could come in handy, and it's nice and conveniently small, and like I said, fits in that survival kit bag. Now, I know this might be a hot topic, but the next thing is a water bottle. Now, I like to bring them because not just for water, but if I'm going to whatever buffet area, depending on the ship, it might be called the marketplace, it might be called the windjammer, it might be just the Lido deck, but either way, sometimes it might be water in here, sometimes I might put juice in here. I'm not a big soda drinker, nor am I an alcoholic drinker like that, but this can come in handy. And with this, I would also say to get water bottle cleaners. You can get the little squeegee things, as well as little tablets that actually clean and disinfect the inside of the water bottle. So this way, you're not trying to do it on your own or just leaving it dirty. Now, I'm somebody who likes to kind of be adventurous and do water sports and other activities like that. So one of the many things I like to do is snorkeling. I don't like to use a snorkel with the straw and the goggles by itself because it just doesn't work for me as well. Maybe I tend to go too deep accidentally and things like that, but basically this comes in handy a lot more because it's a full face snorkel mask. It does the same trick as a regular snorkel, but you can actually go a little bit deeper without having to worry about water going down the straw and you inhaling salt water and seawater. This actually comes in handy. Now, I will say this is not great for diving because the way this is set up, the deeper you go, the more pressure is going to try to force you out the water. But when it comes to just basic snorkeling and such, I definitely suggest using this. And the last thing that was in my little survival kit is what looks like just a little pouch, but in actuality, this is a wrist pouch. So basically, just as it sounds, you can put it on your wrist, but it has a little zipper that you could actually have on and off. I guess in case you don't have enough pockets on your own and such, and this is right there with you. But I haven't used this yet myself, but I could see this coming in handy, especially if I wasn't really wearing a watch and such. You could probably wear it around your ankle as well to hide money. One thing that I didn't include in this little survival kit that you could also bring are magnets. They come in handy for a lot of things as well. Now, I know earlier I mentioned something that I used to bring, but I no longer can because it's now been banned on a lot of cruise lines, which is Bluetooth speakers. So basically, most cruise lines will confiscate this in the beginning of your cruise, and not necessarily just this one, but any Bluetooth speaker. If they catch it, they will confiscate it and they'll give it back to you, but basically not until the end of the cruise. So just be warned. I suggest having headphones. There's nothing wrong with just wearing, whether it's the little earbuds or you got the big oversized headphones that like I normally use. But either way, this is no longer permitted. Now, I've mentioned this in a previous video, but Something else I tend to bring on a regular basis is travel size Lysol spray cans, as well as Clorox or Lysol wipes. I like to disinfect everything that's in the room with me, especially certain things that you'll probably be grabbing daily, like the remote, and even things you might not use as often, like the telephone. And while we're on the topic of things for the cabin, you might find yourself in a cabin on CDs looking for something to watch on TV. So if that's the case, why not give yourself more options than what the cruise ship has to offer? I personally like to download shows and movies that I've been watching prior to being on the ship, on things like Amazon Prime, Crunchyroll, and of course, Netflix. And unless you're sailing with Carnival or Princess, you could probably mirror it on the TV and watch it that way, especially with MSC and Royal Caribbean. So there you have it. These are just some of the many things that I think come in handy when packing for a cruise. And if there's anything that you disagree with or you think I forgot, feel free to let me know in the comments. I would love to hear about some of the things that you might find essential and never leave home without. And stay tuned, because in the near future, I'm going to make a video about your passport and your embarkation paperwork and how to pack them and keep them safe throughout your journey. So in the meantime, if you're not subscribed, then what are you waiting for? It's fast, easy, and free. And this way you won't miss out on any future videos, posts, or even when I plan on going live. So in the meantime, thanks for watching and happy cruising.